so I took out a short sword and handed it to the shop owner, asking, how much do you think this ghost artifact could sell for? The owner looked at the short sword in my hand in shock. This ghost artifact can actually be used 7 times, I asked directly. Will you take this ghost artifact? Young man, you overestimate me. I can't afford something like this, but I can help you spread the word. Someone will definitely buy it. After I nodded in agreement, the owner immediately shouted loudly, a brand new ghost cry, can be used 7 times. Anyone interested? No sooner had he finished speaking than, in less than 10 seconds, I was surrounded by a crowd. Can this ghost artifact really be used 7 times? Is this a scam? I've never even heard of a ghost cry that can be used 7 times. The shop owner handed the short sword back to me and said, young man, I've gathered the people for you. Now it's up to you. I nodded, holding up the short sword to show everyone. This low-grade ghost cry really can be used 7 times. Just then, someone suddenly interrupted. Kid, you call this kind of top-tier ghost artifact a low-grade one? This should be considered a top-tier ghost artifact, I asked, a bit speechless. If something with a usage limit like this is considered top-tier, then what level would a ghost artifact that can be used permanently be? Everyone who heard this drew in a sharp breath. A permanent ghost cry. That would be a priceless treasure. The crowd clearly had no concept of a permanent artifact. I steered the conversation back. How much is this worth? For a top-tier item, maybe 20 to 30,000 Underworld coins. I was surprised such a low-grade item could fetch that much. I asked loudly, anyone interested in buying? No one responded. They wanted it, but were simply too poor. Then, a woman in a cheapao approached and said, how much for this ghost artifact? The commanding woman asked. 32,000 coins, I replied. Hong Yanchun instantly agreed. I felt I'd priced it too low. I knew she was wealthy, but not this rich, not even bargaining for 32,000. Then, a blue-haired man interjected, I want it too. Hong Yanchun frowned. Zhao Xiaoqiang, what do you mean? Nothing special, he replied. I just want this top-tier artifact as well. Hong Yanchun snapped. I've already agreed on the price. Zhao Xiaoqiang interrupted directly. But you haven't paid yet, so the deal isn't done. I'll offer 35,000 Underworld coins. Hong Yanchun immediately fell silent. She knew very well that she couldn't compete with Zhao Xiaoqiang's wealth, so she decisively gave up. Just as she was about to leave, I stepped forward to stop her. Miss, don't be in such a hurry to go. I'm a person of my word. Since I promised to sell you the ghost cry, I won't go back on it. Give me 32,000 Underworld coins, and this ghost artifact is yours. As I spoke, I handed the dagger to Hong Yanchun. She was a bit caught off guard, not expecting to meet someone with such integrity. She immediately took out 32,000 Underworld coins and handed them to me. Seeing the deal was done, Zhao Xiaoqiang looked disappointed and prepared to leave to look elsewhere. But I stopped him, saying, brother, you're leaving already? He replied, you've already sold your ghost artifact, so of course I'm leaving. I smiled and said, don't be in such a hurry. I have another ghost artifact here. Would you like to take a look? Everyone present was once again stunned. There was another top-tier ghost cry. This guy really has deep pockets. Zhao Xiaoqiang looked at the longsword at my waist and asked, are you planning to sell me this ghost artifact? I quickly waved my hand and said, no, not this one. It's this pair of scissors. As I spoke, I took out a pair of scissors-shaped ghost artifact. Zhao Xiaoqiang examined the scissors in front of him and smiled. Is this ghost artifact a top-tier one? I only want top-tier ghost cry. I smiled and assured him. Of course, this ghost artifact is just like the one I sold earlier. It can also be used 7 times. Zhao Xiaoqiang was a bit skeptical, but the moment he got his hands on the scissors, all his doubts vanished. It really was a top-tier ghost cry that could be used 7 times. He immediately asked, how much for this ghost artifact? Also, 32,000 Underworld coins, I replied. Zhao Xiaoqiang readily handed over the 32,000 Underworld coins. Meanwhile, Hong Yanchun, standing to the side, looked displeased. He had thought he'd met someone of high moral character, but it turned out I was just afraid my customer would leave. He was about to turn and leave when I called out to him again. Miss, do you still want a top-tier ghost cry? I have more right here. Hong Yanchun was stunned as she watched me take out yet another orb-shaped ghost cry. Just where did this guy get so many top-tier ghost artifacts? But he, Oxia, shook his head, indicating he didn't need it. I felt a bit disappointed, then turned expectantly to Zhao Xiaoqiang and asked, do you want this ghost cry? Zhao Xiaoqiang hesitated for a moment, but politely declined. It wasn't that he didn't want it, but he simply didn't have enough Underworld coins left. Seeing this, I had no choice but to ask the people around if anyone else was interested. But after waiting for quite a while, no one responded. It seemed I wouldn't be able to sell it, so I put away the ghost cry and leisurely made my way to the ghost market at the Four Directions courtyard. There, I used my ghost eye skill to identify ghosts. Before long, I was drawn to a daily ghost lurking in the corner. Silent Blood Realm, daily level skill, fearless. After using this skill, the ghost becomes unafraid of Tai Yi. I stared in shock at the information before me. This ghost's ability was just too outrageous. You have to know, ghosts are usually especially afraid of things like the sun, and wouldn't appear during the day. Even the more powerful ghosts could only show up in places with something to block the sunlight. Just then, a girl asked, sir, would you like to buy my ghost? Before I could say anything, the owner of the neighboring stall chimed in. That's just a daily ghost, it's useless. Why don't you take a look at my ghost instead? Hearing the man's words, the girl lowered her head helplessly. She knew herself that her ghost was just a daily one and wasn't worth much. I ignored the man and said to the girl, I'll take this ghost. The girl wondered if she'd misheard. Staring at me in disbelief, I simply took out 1,000 Underworld coins and handed them over, asking, is 1,000 Underworld coins enough? The girl replied excitedly, yes, that's enough, thank you. After the transaction was finished, I immediately raised my hand and collected the ghost myself. Next, I drove to the luxurious villa that Xianyun had prepared for me. As soon as I entered the house, I released the ghost I had just bought. Placing my hand on its head, I activated the ghost suppression book and subdued it. Congratulations, you have obtained the ability Fearless of Ghostly Tracks. With this, I could now summon ghosts at any time. Just then, a Yinchai suddenly appeared in my room. Lord of the Underworld, you called for me. I nodded and said, come here, I will heal your wounds now. My lord, my injuries will heal on their own after a while. You don't need to spend Underworld coins to heal me. I didn't waste words and directly took out 10,000 Underworld coins, transforming them into an Underworld artifact, then guided the spiritual energy into Li Shui's body. Very quickly, Li Shui's wounds were completely healed. Thank you, Lord of the Underworld, for saving me. I waved my hand and said, no need to thank me. Stay here for the next few days. I might have some tasks for you. Li Shui immediately bowed respectfully and said he would obey any orders, then left the room. Just then, my phone suddenly rang. After answering, I heard Qing Yun's voice on the other end. Brother Mo, the people who came to Jing Ancestral Hall to sell Underworld messengers a while ago will be coming again in a week. If you want to find them, try to prepare in advance. After hearing this, I immediately perked up. The people who have been capturing Underworld messengers are finally about to show themselves. I definitely need to prepare well. I want to see who has the guts to do this, daring enough to even capture messengers from the night patrol. After hanging up, my phone rang again. It was Li Bingyan calling. As soon as I answered, I heard Li Bingyan say, please come to the headquarters of the Ghost Encounter Society tomorrow. I have something I need your help with. I readily agreed, guessing she probably wanted to assign me a ghost catching task. Looks like I need to improve my own strength. So, I summoned Chen Qi out. My lord, Minghua, what are your orders? I smiled and said, I'm going to help you increase your strength. Then I took out 20,000 wen in spirit money. With a whoosh, the spirit money instantly ignited, and wisps of spiritual energy slowly flowed into Chen Qi's body. Chen Qi let out a chilling scream. I saw his eye sockets gradually turn red, and his body color deepened, almost becoming corporeal. Chen Qi felt that he had advanced to the nightmare level, so he immediately cupped his hands in gratitude and said, thank you, my lord, for your cultivation. After thinking for a moment, I said, from now on, you don't have to stay in the soul-suppressing book all the time. Just follow behind me and await my orders. Chen Qi agreed excitedly. This meant his status had been elevated, no longer just a formation ghost. Other ghosts couldn't compare. Next, I summoned Chu Xing, then took out another 20,000 yuan in spirit money, and repeated the previous steps for Chu Xing's body. Chu Xing excitedly clenched his fists. He'd just reached nightmare level. He bowed, saying, thank you, my lord, for your cultivation. I nodded. From now on, stay by my side and follow my orders. The next day, I arrived at the Ghost Taming Society. Li Bingyan handed me a business card. This is your identity card. With this, you can ask the society for help. I accepted it and asked, anything else? Li Bingyan spoke awkwardly. Do you have more top-grade ghost whale? News of my Sifan courtyard sale had already spread. I handed her a ghost energy knife, saying, even though we know each other, but you still must pay the ghost coins. Li Bingyan, impressed, handed me a stack. 35,000 for your energy, she said. Accepting them, I added, refer any friends needing top-grade artifacts to me. Li Bingyan wondered if I had more. Just then, a man in a suit entered, and Li Bingyan dismissed me. However, as I turned to leave, the man stopped me. Young man, don't be in such a hurry to leave. I want to ask if you have any more ghost energy on you. Li Bingyan frowned slightly and said, Chu Hanlin, he's my friend. I'm not giving him any trouble, just asking if he has more ghost energy. Chu Hanlin directly interrupted her, then turned his head. His eyes filled with greed as he looked at me. I took out another ghost whale, this one shaped like a silver needle. When Chu Hanlin saw that I really had another top-grade ghost artifact, he snatched it from my hand, examined it for a moment, and repeatedly praised it. This is truly a fine item. Then, he put the ghost energy away. I reminded him, 32,000 ghost coins. Chu Hanlin smiled, said, got it, and turned to leave. I stopped him, repeating, 32,000. Seeing I wasn't budging, Chu Hanlin's smile vanished. He said, young man, just give me this artifact. I'll help your status in the Ghost Control Society later. I refused. No, either pay the 32,000 or return it. Chu Hanlin frowned. Mo Lin, we're both in the society. We'll be colleagues. Can't you just give it to me? When I still shook my head, Chu Hanlin prepared to use force. Young man, you're really stubborn. Are you determined to make things tense between us? As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Hanlin summoned his contracted ghost. Immediately, the ghost locked onto my aura. Give me the ghost artifact and consider it as making a friend with me. He hadn't finished speaking when a red shadow suddenly appeared and slapped the ghost away before it could react. The entire building shook violently. Who dares bully my big dog? Chen Qi roared, and a terrifying pressure swept through the whole building. Li Bingyan's heart clenched. This was a nightmare-level ghost. He glanced at Chu Hanlin, snorted coldly, and stepped back, clearly not wanting to get involved. Chen Qi grabbed Chu Hanlin again, and Chu Hanlin was completely unable to resist. The gap in strength was simply too great, and soon, the other members of the Ghost Encounter Society rushed in one after another. However, when they saw that it was a nightmare-level ghost, they all became completely panicked. Before they could react, in the next instant, a wave of black mist swept over everyone present. Immediately after, their bodies suddenly stiffened, and they saw that iron chains were bound their necks. Following the direction of the chains, they realized it was yet another nightmare-level ghost. It turned out that Execution had made a move, and the moment Execution acted, he took control of everyone's lives present. Even the always calm Li Bingyan felt his scalp tingle. After all, a single nightmare-level ghost could massacre an entire group, and yet I possessed 2 nightmare-level ghosts. At the very least, no one in all of Yunchuan could rival me. Chu Hanlin was completely dumbfounded. What the hell was going on? Since when did nightmare-level ghosts become as common as cabbages? Just then, Chen Qi spoke up. Sir, are you going to kill everyone here? As soon as she finished speaking, everyone present gasped in shock. Was a nightmare-level ghost really this bloodthirsty? Chu Hanlin's heart skipped a beat. He definitely didn't want to die, so he hurriedly apologized. Brother, I'm sorry. I'll give you spirit money. I'll pay for this ghost artifact. Hearing this, I waved my hand and said, let him go. Chen Qi immediately let go, and Chu Hanlin fell hard to the ground, but he couldn't even care whether he was hurt or not. He immediately took out 32,000 won in spirit money and handed it over. Brother, I offended you just now. I'm truly sorry. His attitude was as respectful as it could possibly be. Seeing this, Chen Qi prepared to retreat behind me, but accidentally brushed against my hair. He instantly shivered and dropped to his knees. Sir, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Everyone around was stunned. Were nightmare-level ghosts really this humble? What kind of method did this person use? Li Bingyan swallowed hard. How on earth did Mo Lin manage to train a nightmare-level ghost to be like this? I ignored everyone's reactions and spoke calmly. It's fine. Just let it go. Hearing this, Chen Qi breathed a sigh of relief, then disappeared at the same time as Chu Qing. Seeing this, Chu Hanlin quickly made up an excuse and said, Mr. Mo, I offended you just now. My wife is sick. I need to go take care of her. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving now. With that, he hurriedly fled in a panic. Li Bingyan also scolded the crowd. Go do whatever you should be doing. After everyone had left, Li Bingyan finally asked, were those two ghosts just now the full extent of your power? I replied nonchalantly, not at all. Those two ghosts are just the tip of the iceberg of my strength. Li Bingyan was so shocked she couldn't close her mouth. This was just the tip of the iceberg? Does Mo Lin have ghosts beyond nightmare level? Luckily, she'd recruited him, and they weren't enemies. Li Bingyan cautiously asked, still open to small ghost catching jobs? I smiled. Of course, just assign me any you have. Official or not, I just want ghosts with unique patterns. Hearing this, Li Bingyan took out her phone. I'll add you to our group. Just pick any task you like. As I joined, a new message appeared. A group message read, Level 3 ghost in western suburbs. Shi Yunlin is in danger. Anyone nearby, please help immediately. I wondered how there was danger during the day. Seeing me reading, Li Bingyan asked, Mr. Mo, could you go? I agreed. Before leaving, I asked, can you find a ghost named Zishang Qingru? Li Bingyan was surprised. Zishang Qingru? Didn't that ghost already dissipate? Her words shocked me. It struck me hard. Dissipated? How could he have dissipated? I rushed forward and asked excitedly. Li Bingyan was startled by my sudden action and quickly said, he came here about a year ago seeking help from our Ghost Encounter Society, but the leadership couldn't reach an agreement, so they turned him down. After that, there was no more news about him. I figured he must have died. I hurriedly pressed further. Why did he come to the Ghost Encounter Society? What kind of trouble did he run into? Li Bingyan braced herself and explained, the situation is rather complicated, and I only know a little about it. He seemed driven to desperation by those Ghost Domain ghosts, seeking protection from the Ghost Encounter Society. Hearing Ghost Domain made me grit my teeth. We're mortal enemies, yet even here, they won't leave us alone. Why can't they just mind their own business? If I had Monarch level power, I'd wipe them out myself. Li Bingyan looked lost as I got angry. I asked, are you sure Zishang Qingru dissipated? He replied nervously, it's just a guess. I'll go check. I nodded. Let me know as soon as you have any news about him. I said that was fine, then left, and drove to the school where Yunling in the western suburbs was located. As I walked into the school, I saw from a distance a group of people surrounding Yunlin. I could vaguely hear Yunlin gritting his teeth and saying, I caught this ghost. Why should I give it to you? A fat man shamelessly replied, we had our eyes on this ghost long ago. You just acted faster and caught it before us. Since it's our target, you should give it back to us. Yunling frowned slightly, realizing that things wouldn't be resolved peacefully today. He glanced around, thinking that since he had just sent a call for help in the group chat, someone should be coming, right? When he saw me, a look of delight appeared on his face. Ignoring the others, I approached Yunlin and asked, who are they? Yunlin replied, they're from the Zilong Society. I caught a ghost yesterday, and they want it. I asked, what's the Zilong Society? Yunlin explained, it's an official group like the Ghost Encounter Club, but they handle odd jobs. He then glanced behind me. Where are the others? I replied, it's just me. Yunlin panicked. Only Moling? That's as good as nobody. Fat Tiger snorted with laughter. Yunlin, did you call him just to get beaten up? Yunlin gritted his teeth and snorted. Then Yunlin turned around and gave me a look, signaling for me to run. I ignored Yunlin and instead looked at the people across from us. There were only 3 level 2 ghost tamers and 4 level 1 ghost tamers. Feeling puzzled, I looked at Yunlin and asked, you're a level 3 ghost tamer. Why are you afraid of them? Before Yunlin could answer, Fat Tiger on the other side smugly pointed at the sun in the sky and said, so what if he's a level 3 ghost tamer? No matter how powerful he is, he can't summon ghosts under the sun. Yunlin's eyes blazed with anger. If it weren't for the fact that ghosts can't appear under sunlight, he would have already summoned his contracted ghost to teach Fat Tiger and his group a lesson. I nodded in sudden realization and said to Yunlin, leave this to me. Fat Tiger sneered and said, you think you can take on all of us by yourself? But I simply waved my palm. In an instant, a spectral chain appeared out of thin air, lashed out fiercely, making the gunner scream like a slaughtered pig. On the plaza, the people behind Fat Tiger were so frightened by this scene that they kept stumbling backward. Yunlin looked on in utter disbelief. How could I use a ghostly skill under the sun? Normally, I wouldn't be able to use ghostly skills in sunlight either, but I had just obtained a very special ghostly skill. After using it, my ghost could ignore the sun and move freely in the daylight. But to deal with Fat Tiger and his little gang, there was no need to summon a ghost. Just using the ghostly skill was enough. So I lashed out again, striking hard. The intense pain made him drum on the ground in agony. In a cold tone, I said to the remaining people, anyone else want to block my way? Seeing that no one dared to speak, I took Yunlin and left the school. After parting ways with Yunlin, I was about to drive home. However, I wandered along this road for over an hour and still couldn't get out. Could it be that a ghost was blocking my way? As soon as I got out of the car, I saw a thick white fog all around, and there was no road at all, just dirt slopes. When did I end up in a place like this? I quickly sensed a trace of ghostly energy in the air. Following its trail, I hadn't gone far when I heard a chilling, sobbing cry. I looked in the direction of the sound and saw a woman squatting beside a large rock. Perhaps she heard my footsteps because she slowly turned her head, and I was startled. She was incredibly ugly. Instinctively, I drew my longsword and held it in front of me, questioning her. Why are you blocking my way? The female ghost muttered, give me back my child. You took my child, and I want you all to pay with your lives. As soon as she finished speaking, she was about to attack me, but in the next moment, she froze in place. Lord Moline, I was a bit rash. Who is this ghost that can call out my name? She must know me. Right now I wasn't wearing my ceremonial robe, so except for people who know me, no ghost would call me Lord. The female ghost anxiously said, I'm Yin Xiaohua. Do you still remember the matter with the ghost mother? Suddenly, it all came back to me. It's you. Back when I was cultivating the ghost concealment technique in the Underworld, the first ghost I subdued was the ghost mother. Because the ghost mother was special, I was only able to subdue her with Yin Xiaohua's help. I asked in confusion, so you knew it was me, and deliberately blocked my way. Yin Xiaohua glanced around as she spoke. No, it's probably because my resentment is too strong, which changed the environment around here and accidentally blocked your path. Then she whimpered, Lord, you have to help me. Strangers took my child and I can't find them. Yin Xiaohua added, Lord Molin, help me, and I'll repay you 100-fold. I replied, I'll help, but you must sign a subservience contract. She agreed, even if it costs my soul. I'm willing. I nodded. Then come with me. Yin Xiaohua misted onto my longsword. Then I took out my phone. I sent a message in the chat group. Who here has reliable information? I want to ask about something related to ghosts. Soon, someone named Feng Mingyu replied, do you want to catch a ghost, or are you looking to buy one? Let's add each other as friends and talk privately. So I added Feng Mingyu and sent a message. Hello, I'm looking for a ghost child who was taken away. The other side quickly replied, come tonight, find me at Wanling KTV, and I'll take you to look. I put away my phone and drove home first. As soon as I walked in the door, Li Shui appeared. Sir, after you left, someone sneaked in. My expression darkened as I asked, do you know who it was? Li Shui immediately said, I left a trace of my aura on them. Do you need me to investigate? I nodded and said, go find out who it was, and be careful. If they're connected to the ghost domain, you must make sure to keep yourself safe. After Li Shui nodded in agreement, he left. Around 7 in the evening, I drove to Wanling KTV. After meeting up, I asked directly, can you help me find that ghost child? Feng Mingyu smiled and said, you've come to the right person for this. I'll take you to my uncle. He's got the best connections. If it's in Yunchuan, there's nothing he can't find out. With that, he led me to the black market, hidden beneath the KTV. Just then, a man brushed past me and bumped into my arm. I was speechless. How could he run into me when the path was so wide? I soon realized what happened and checked my pockets, finding my 10,000 spirit coins missing. The man had clearly stolen them. Feng Mingyu saw me stop and asked, what's wrong? Looking where he ran, I whispered, my coins were stolen. I need them back. I immediately chased after the thief. Feng Mingyu followed, shouting, stop! Thieves here have backup. You won't get them back. But I ignored his advice. I walked straight ahead and quickly passed through an intersection, soon spotting the man from earlier rushing into a small house. I followed him to the entrance of this house. Inside, a group of people had gathered, all glaring at me fiercely, while the thief from before was swaggering at the very back, swinging the 10,000 spirit coins that should have been mine. Just as I was about to go in, a man in black blocked my way. Kid, what do you want? He asked. I pointed at the thief inside and said slowly, that man in there stole my spirit coins. The man immediately responded with displeasure. Who's a thief? Watch it, kid. False accusations have a price. Immediately, the others in the hall closed in. Clearly, they were used to bullying people with their numbers. Just then, Feng Mingyu caught up and saw the confrontation. Frightened, he forced a smile and said, sorry, it's a misunderstanding. My friend's new to the black market and doesn't know the rules. Please, brothers, don't take it to heart. The man in black just smiled threateningly and said, since he's your friend, you should have kept an eye on him. This is Lord Sun's turf, you know. Do you know what happens if you offend Lord Sun? Feng Mingyu kept apologizing. I know, I'm sorry. I'll take my friend and leave right away. As he spoke, Feng Mingyu tried to pull me away, but couldn't move me. Then he heard me say, my spirit money was stolen by this group. Feng Mingyu quietly reminded me, this is Sun Tao's turf. He's a level 4 ghost encounterer. Don't cause trouble, let's just go. But I acted as if I hadn't heard him at all, still staring coldly at the group. Seeing this, the man in black immediately summoned his contracted spirit, and the others in the hall followed suit, summoning their own contracts. The ghosts, seeing these people acting so arrogantly, were furious. I turned to Feng Mingyu and said, I'll settle this within 10 minutes. Seeing that I was determined not to back down, Feng Mingyu had no choice but to quickly take out his phone. He called for help in the chat group. Help, help, Mo Lin is in trouble at the black market. Upon seeing the message, Yun Lin immediately asked, what trouble? What's going on? Feng Mingyu quickly replied, the 10,000 spirit coins he brought were stolen by someone under Lord Sun. Mo Lin is about to fight them. Someone come quickly, I'm afraid Mo Lin will die here. Yun Lin anxiously replied, what? Isn't Sun Yi just a level 4 ghost encounterer? You have to stop Mo Lin. Don't let him act impulsively. Feng Mingyu was almost in tears as he replied, I can't stop him at all. Are all ghost encounterers this fierce now? Lin Qi also hurriedly replied, if you've provoked Lord Sun, I'll head over right now. When Yun Lin saw Lin Qi's message, he was overjoyed and said, yes, 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 Lin Qi, you know Lord Sun. Hurry over and put in a good word for us. Feng Mingyu also quickly replied, please come quickly. If you're late, we might have to collect Mo Lin's body. Meanwhile, the contracted ghosts of that group were already moving toward Wu Bu. Feng Mingyu saw this scene and gritting his teeth, prepared to forcibly rescue me and get me out of there. Suddenly, a miserable wail from a ghost rang out and the music stopped. Immediately after, a chorus of ghostly screams erupted, one after another. Feng Mingyu looked at me in astonishment as the surrounding ghosts actually fled, as if they had encountered their natural enemy. Rubbing his eyes, Feng Mingyu confirmed that he hadn't seen wrong. These ghosts were indeed terrified of him. He even saw 3 ghosts sliced in half in an instant, vanishing into thin air. I was holding a sword in my right hand, and with each swing and roll, my movements were smooth and fluid. In less than 10 seconds, more than half of the 20+ contracted ghosts had been slain. Feng Mingyu stared at the longsword in my hand and muttered to himself, what kind of ghostly aura is this? So powerful. Just then, a man suddenly appeared behind me, holding a spiral-shaped ghostly aura and lunging at the ghost. Just as Feng Mingyu thought I was about to get hurt, he saw me swing my sword backhanded. With a squelching sound, the man's arm holding the ghostly weapon was instantly severed. After dealing with all the contracted ghosts, there was still one floating in the air. The trajectory of this ghost was quite interesting. I wanted to subdue it rather than kill it, and the contracted ghost also realized something was wrong and tried to return to its host. However, I simply raised my hand and suppressed this contracted ghost, sealing it into the ghost suppression book. Ding! Congratulations, you have obtained trajectory. After using teleportation, you can instantly appear at the farthest place visible to the eye. At the same time, a man felt that he had lost contact with his contracted ghost, so he shouted at me, what right do you have to take my contracted ghost? Give it back to me. I kicked him away, then said to him, if anyone else is not convinced, step forward. The scene fell silent. No one dared to make a sound. Feng Mingyu felt like he was losing his mind. How could this be so outrageous? He had imagined many possible outcomes, but never expected that a single person could wipe out more than 20 contracted ghosts. By this time, I had already walked into the house. The thief, hiding in the corner, was so frightened that his face turned pale, completely losing his earlier arrogance. "I'm sorry, big brother." "Spare me!" the thief pleaded as he obediently handed over 10,000 Underworld coins. Meanwhile, Feng Mingyu was at a loss. "You single-handedly wrecked Lord Sun's territory, and needless to say, Lord Sun must be on his way here." Sure enough, before long, a middle-aged man appeared at the entrance. He looked at the chaos in the hall and questioned me coldly. "Kid, what do you mean by this?" I replied calmly. "Your people stole my Underworld coins, so I gave them a little punishment." Sun Tao snorted coldly. "Don't you think you've gone too far?" As soon as he finished speaking, I placed my longsword on Sun Tao's shoulder. Then I smiled and said, "I don't think I've gone too far." My expression immediately turned cold. "I'm not in a good mood right now, so you'd better not mess with me." Sun Tao raised his hand, ready to break the sword resting on his shoulder. However, the moment his hand touched the sharp blade, the contracted ghost inside him sent out a wave of fear. "Don't provoke him, you'll die. Whatever you do, don't provoke him." He had to remember that his contracted ghost was of the terrifying class, yet it was now feeling fear. Feng Mingyu nervously swallowed. Molin was truly fierce, afraid of no one. Even when facing a level 4 ghost encounter, he didn't back down in the slightest, and even provoked them, just as Feng Mingyu thought the two of them were about to fight. But Sun Tao smiled ingratiatingly and said, "You didn't go too far. It was their fault." I put away my sword and said coldly, "Keep your people in line. If this happens again, I won't mind teaching you a lesson as well." Sun Tao replied again, "I understand." His attitude showed not the slightest hint of anger. One of his underlings couldn't stand it anymore and stepped forward to remind him, "Boss Sun, this kid trashed our turf and even took away the brothers' contracted ghosts. Are we just going to let it go like this?" Sun Tao simply slapped him, knocking him out. I turned to Feng Mingyu and asked, "This is the black market. If someone gets killed here, there shouldn't be any consequences, right?" Feng Mingyu quickly replied, "No, there aren't." Sun Tao couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat for himself. It was obvious that this guy's words were meant for him, if he really did anything excessive. Someone was dying today. Seeing Boss Sun's tact, I left with a confused Feng Mingyu. He checked the group chat, which was flooded with questions. Feng messaged, "Don't come, it's resolved." "Is Molin dead?" "Did Boss Sun do it?" the group asked. Feng smiled wryly and typed, "He's fine. Boss Sun didn't dare touch him. Molin trashed the place alone." So cool, absolutely unbeatable. Even Sun Ye doesn't dare mess with him. After sending these messages, he ignored the group's excited chatter, put away his phone, then pointed at the longsword at your waist, and asked in confusion, "Molin, what level is this ghost weapon?" I didn't answer. There was no need to talk about heroic spirits with people from the living world. Seeing that I didn't want to answer, Feng Mingyu tactfully changed the subject. "Is your contracted ghost also at the terror level?" I shook my head and said, "No." Feng Mingyu, surprised, covered his mouth. "Could it be a nightmare level ghost?" I didn't answer directly, instead urging, "Alright, enough gossip. Weren't you going to help me look up some information?" Snapping out of his shock, Feng Mingyu replied, Right, this way." Quickly, the two of us arrived at an unremarkable little shop where an old man was sitting inside. Feng Mingyu pointed at the old man and said to me, "This is my uncle." Liu Feng paused what he was doing, looked up, and said with a smile, "Mingyu, you're here. Haven't seen you in a while. How have you been lately?" Feng Mingyu replied, "Not bad." Then he introduced me. "This is my friend, Molin." Upon hearing my name, Liu Feng leaned in and looked me over carefully. "I know you. You stirred up quite a scene at the Chen family a few days ago, and yesterday, you nearly turned the Ghost Encounter Society headquarters upside down. Plus, you've sold several top-tier ghost weapons." Hearing Liu Feng's words, I immediately understood. Feng Mingyu's uncle really does have an impressive information network. Liu Feng spoke again. "So, what brings you here?" I got straight to the point and asked, "I came to ask if you know who took away a ghost child some time ago." After hearing this, Liu Feng took out a notebook and said, "Let me check for you." As he spoke, he quickly flipped through the pages and soon found the information I needed. He copied the details onto a piece of paper, handed it to me, and said, "The information you want is on here. 1,000 Underworld coins, no bargaining." I didn't hesitate. I took out 1,000 Underworld coins and handed them over. Then I took the paper and opened it. It said that the ghost child had been taken away by disciples of Qi Daoist Temple. After seeing our transaction was complete, Feng Mingyu said, "My uncle's information is always accurate. If he gives you information, it's 100% reliable." I nodded and asked, "Where is this Daoist temple? What kind of place is it?" Feng Mingyu's eyes widened as he gasped, "You're not actually planning to stir up trouble at Qi Daoist temple again, are you?" I replied calmly, "It's not really trouble. I just need to get something from them." He clearly didn't believe me, pursing his lips. Qi Daoist temple holds a very high status here. There are two major temples in Yunchuan, Jing Ancestral Hall and Qi Daoist temple. Jing Ancestral Hall has ghost catchers, but Qi Daoist temple is made up entirely of priests, probably more than a dozen of them. I stroked my chin and pondered. I had never dealt with priests before, but my master was a respected celestial master, which is also a branch of Taoism. Seeing my silence, he added, "They are orthodox Taoists with specialized techniques for catching ghosts, and their main income comes from helping people catch ghosts, and occasionally doing some other small business, like selling ghosts and such." I nodded and said, "Alright, I got it." Then I turned and left. Feng Mingyu looked at my back, feeling speechless. Molin clearly hadn't listened at all. After thinking for a moment, Feng Mingyu still decided to follow me, worried that things might get out of hand in the end. When I arrived at the entrance of Qi Daoist temple, and hadn't even done anything yet, a young man guarding the gate suddenly cried out in alarm, "Senior brother, help! There's a ghost, a big-breasted ghost!" As he shouted, he turned and dashed into the temple. I stood there, looking around in confusion. There weren't any ghosts here, just me. Was he talking about me? I was really puzzled. When I first returned to the mortal world, people had already mistaken me for something strange. And now it was happening again. Why is that? Just then, Just then, the young man brought a chubby senior brother. Walking over, the senior scolded, "You're acting so inexperienced. We're Taoists. We catch ghosts for a living. Yet you're scared? How embarrassing." He snorted, but stepping out, he suddenly cried, "Oh crap, a ghost." He stumbled back in fear, shouting, "Hurry, close the door. Don't let it in." The young man muttered, "Senior, I don't think closing the door helps." It turned out all the Taoist temple disciples. They knew the Qi observation technique to judge ghosts. The chubby senior brother used it, and the suffocating aura made him gasp. I knocked on the door asking, "Is anyone there?" He complained, "This ghost is polite," while shivering. He'd never seen such a bold ghost knock on a Taoist temple. It was like a mouse entering a cat's den. He shouted to the junior, "Go get our eldest brother." The eldest brother was resting when he heard a ghost had entered the temple. He rushed to the courtyard. "What are you doing? Scared of one ghost? Pathetic. Open the door." The chubby brother whispered, "Brother, this ghost is fierce." Wan Yu shouted, "Open it. If people here were afraid, they'll laugh." The chubby brother braced himself and opened the door. As I entered, they all stepped back. This ghost had an overwhelming aura. Even righteous Wan Yu felt its suppressed power. Without restraint, it would be even more terrifying. Wan Yu gave up on catching the ghost. He saw the thick aura and noticed 5 more ghosts inside the belly. Averting his gaze, he asked, "Why are you at Qidao Temple?" I replied, "Did you capture a ghost child recently?" Wan Yu nodded. I continued, "His mother is worried. Return him, and I will pay you in spirit money." Wan Yu paled. This ghost dared to ask for the child, showing zero respect for Qidao Temple. But I was a bit confused. Why did these Taoists look so upset, as if they'd eaten something foul, just because of my simple request? It's not like I was asking for the ghost child for free. I was even willing to give them spirit money. So what was the problem? So I spoke up again, asking if they could give the child to me. Wan Yu's heart skipped a beat. He felt threatened by a ghost no less. If word got out, how humiliating would that be? Still, he ordered, "Go bring the little ghost we caught a few days ago." Soon, a junior brother brought over a grey-black jar with a talisman stuck on it. Wan Yu removed the talisman, and a black shadow timidly floated out of the jar. The little ghost was very small, about the size of a 7 or 8-year-old child. The moment he saw Wan Yu and the others, he instinctively backed away, shrinking his neck in fear. But when he saw me, he cried out in surprise, "Lord Molin!" That one phrase, "Lord Molin," made Wan Yu even more certain that I was a ghost, and not just any ghost, but one with status. The little ghost ran up to me and thanked me, saying, "Thank you, Lord Molin, for saving my life." I then called out, "Yin Xiaohua, come out. I found your son for you." After Yin Xiaohua appeared, she rushed forward, hugged her son, and scolded him with red eyes. "I told you not to run around, but you wouldn't listen. Now you've been caught by these stinky Taoists. If Lord Molin hadn't stepped in to save you, you'd have had a hard time surviving." After she finished, she shot Wan Yu a fierce glare, then took her son and returned to the sword. I then took out 2,000 spirit coins and handed them to Wan Yu before turning to leave. Watching my departing figure, Wan Yu muttered to himself, "This ghost is actually quite well-mannered." The chubby senior brother said unwillingly, "Senior brother, are you just going to let that ghost go?" Wan Yu snorted coldly and replied, "Of course not. I have to regain the face I lost today. Go buy some talisman paper. I'm going to draw a grand ghost-catching array and personally capture that ghost." The chubby senior brother responded respectfully, "Senior brother, you're so mighty. I'll go buy it right away." After I left Qidao Temple, I ran into Feng Mingyu, who had hurried over. When he saw me, he asked in surprise, "Are you all right?" I replied helplessly, "Of course I'm fine. The matter has already been resolved." Feng Mingyu was shocked. "It's already resolved?" He had thought that Molin would have some kind of conflict with the people from Qidao Temple, but it seemed like nothing had happened. Apparently, he was just overthinking it. So Feng Mingyu asked, "Have you eaten yet? Let me treat you to a meal." After being busy all night, I was indeed hungry, so I followed Feng Mingyu into a restaurant. As soon as Feng Mingyu walked in, his first reaction was to complain, "Why is it so dirty here?" I turned to Feng Mingyu and asked, "Are you afraid of ghosts?" Feng Mingyu looked around warily after hearing this and said, "What do you mean? Is there a ghost here?" Then realizing something, he puffed out his chest and said, "I'm a ghost envoy, you know. I'm not afraid of ghosts." I nodded. "Good, because we just walked into a ghost den." Suddenly, a dozen vicious ghosts appeared. Feng Mingyu instinctively huddled closer. "Weren't you just saying you weren't afraid?" I asked. He puffed out his chest. "Of course not." But seeing a disheveled female ghost, tragic memories flooded his mind. Unable to handle the mental shock, he vomited. This was a nightmare-level ghost. We're doomed. This time, we're really doomed. Just then, I pulled him behind me, and right where Feng Mingyu had just been standing, a deep pit suddenly appeared. It turned out that the nightmare-level ghost had launched an attack at some point. At the same time, the restaurant transformed into an open-air graveyard, with corpses crawling out of their graves, one after another. Feng Mingyu could even smell the overwhelming stench. I explained to Feng Mingyu, "Don't panic, these are all illusions. It must be a trick from that ghost just now." Feng Mingyu tried to act tough again, saying, "I know, I'm not afraid." I replied speechlessly, "If you're not scared, then why are you grabbing my sleeve? You've pulled it so hard it's coming apart at the seams." Feng Mingyu awkwardly backed away, her face turning red. Just then, a rotting corpse lunged straight at her. As she was about to summon her contracted ghost, I quickly stopped her, saying, "Don't summon your contracted ghost. If it comes out, it'll get eaten. If you're too scared, just close your eyes." So Feng Mingyu obediently closed her eyes and pressed herself tightly against my back, not daring to move an inch. Seeing that Feng Mingyu hadn't summoned her contracted ghost, the ghost let out a furious, frustrated roar. I also used Ghost Shadow, Life for Life, Scarlet Leaf Realm, Nightmare, and Trickery Illusion, creating an illusion based on the thing the opponent fears most, to frighten them. I glanced around at the surroundings. It seemed this graveyard illusion was what Feng Mingyu feared most in her heart. Capturing this nightmare-level ghost into the ghost suppression suppression book would be a pretty good battle record. The next second, Chen Shi's figure appeared before me. With a wave of his sword, he instantly broke the surrounding illusion. Then he turned to me and said, "Sir, please wait a moment. I'll take care of this trouble for you right away." With that, he rushed forward while I pulled Feng Mingyu along and said, "Let's go. We'll head out first." When Feng Mingyu opened her eyes, she saw two nightmare-level ghosts fighting each other. She looked at me in confusion and asked, "Why is there another nightmare-level ghost? Is that your contracted ghost?" I nodded without explaining further, and instead rushed straight to a particularly vicious ghost, using the ghost splitting technique to compress it into a ball and put it away. After that, I went to catch the next ghost. Although these ghosts are low level, I can't let them escape. Maybe they'll be useful later. Seeing this, Feng Mingyu was dumbfounded. Two nightmare-level ghosts were fighting, yet Molin was busy catching little ghosts, not the least bit worried that his own contracted ghost might be defeated. Chen Shi screamed as the battle continued. He pierced the ghost's chest, then brought it to me, saying, "Master, I caught the ghost." I handed it to Ding. "Congratulations, you obtained Trajectory Illusion Realm, yield 80 yuan daily." My income grew again. I thought, selling a few artifacts brings tens of thousands. The book's output is small by comparison. Just then, the book suddenly displayed, "Capture 5 ghosts." If I capture 5 ghosts, all my nether coin income will increase tenfold. This ghost suppression book really is full of surprises. A nightmare level ghost would bring in 800 nether coins daily. With 3 already, I'd earn 2,400. If I just cultivate a few more, I'll be rich. Unbeknownst to me, my chubby senior brother saw from a distance that I was fighting Hong Ye and was now anxiously speaking to Wan Yu. "Senior brother, while buying talismans, I saw the ghost from our temple fighting another nightmare level spirit. Should we intervene?" Wan Yu hesitated, worried they couldn't catch such a fierce ghost. The senior brother insisted, "I've prepared these talismans. If we trap the path ahead, we'll definitely catch it." Wan Yu agreed. "Let's do it. Call the others to bring their tools and follow me." So just after Feng Mingyu and I finished cleaning up the mess and left the ghost restaurant, we hadn't gone far before we were suddenly blocked by Wan Yu and the others who rushed out. Wan Yu was holding a wooden sword in one hand and a talisman in the other, muttering something under his breath, while the others held red strings, forming a square to trap you inside. While I was still confused, the chubby senior brother suddenly threw a basin of incense ash at me. I immediately cursed at him. "What the hell are you doing?" The chubby senior brother looked at me in disbelief and said, "How are you okay? That's impossible." As he spoke, he took out another talisman and waved it in front of me. Seeing that I didn't react, he asked again in confusion, "Aren't you afraid?" I slapped the chubby senior brother right across the face. "Are you out of your mind?" The chubby senior brother looked aggrieved and said to Wan Yu, "Senior brother, this ghost is too fierce. He even hit me." Seeing this, Wan Yu panicked as well. He took out a bell and shook it urgently, muttering non-stop. I was completely infuriated. These people were just plain idiots. So you used a gust of yin to tear apart the red string in front of you, then rushed up to Wan Yu and demanded, "Are you all out of your minds? Acting up in the middle of the night?" Wan Yu ignored me, muttering even faster. Seeing that he wouldn't answer, I pressed closer and shouted, "What are you mumbling about? What the hell are you doing?" I was so close to Wan Yu my breath was on his face. Stunned, he exclaimed, "You're a person! You scared me! I thought you were something tough. No wonder my ghost charms failed." I snapped, "You're the one who's not human!" Wan Yu apologized. "Sorry, I thought you were a ghost." His explanation only annoyed me more. I scolded, "You're the ghost! Your whole family are ghosts! Can't you tell people from ghosts?" Wan Yu looked embarrassed. He could usually tell people from ghosts, but how could a human have such a strong, ghostly aura, even containing a ghost? Fat senior brother stepped forward, shocked. "What? He's human? Who has this much ghost aura?" He felt my breath and exclaimed, "Damn, he really is human." I looked at them with disdain. "Done messing around?" Wan Yu hurriedly apologized. "Sorry, my mistake." I cut to the point. "Compensate me. You got incense ash all over me. You dirtied my new clothes." Wan Yu apologized. "Brother, I'm sorry. Please take this." Wan Yu handed over 2,000 wen in spirit money. "Today was a misunderstanding. I didn't mean it." Seeing his humility, I took the money and said, "Don't let it happen again," then left with Feng Mingyu. Later, fat senior brother asked, "Senior brother, why was that guy so strange? Why the strong ghostly aura? That's really unusual."